What's up, everybody? The transfer portal for college basketball just opened on Monday morning, and we've already seen over 1,000 players enter with a lot of big names as well. And in today's video, we're going to be going over some of the top players that are in the transfer portal and where they might be playing next season. If you've been enjoying the content, make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into it. To start us off, let's go over some of the big names that have entered the portal and have already committed to their new school. And up first, we have none other than Bennett Stirtz from Drake, who is following his head coach over to Iowa and will be playing in the Big Ten next season. Bennett Stirtz dominated in his only season at Drake as he went from D2 to D1 and earned Missouri Valley Player of the Year honors. He has an elite scoring ability, averaging 19.2 points per game last season on an impressive 50, 40, and nearly 80% shooting splits. Stirtz has some insane playmaking skills, contributing to 5.7 assists per game and showing some strong court vision and passing ability there at Drake this past season, and is one of the best offensive threats that we saw from mid-major basketball as well. Not only can he get to the rim at will, but he's also a deadly shooter, excels at shooting off the dribble. If you watched any of the tournament, he's hit a lot of those one-legged shots from three that make him really tough to guard, and he's a very crafty finisher, has a strong floater game that helps him excel at scoring in the lane, and this dude can play. He averaged 39.3 minutes per game last year, has incredible stamina there. I think the biggest question mark for Bennett Stirtz is how is this going to transition from mid-major basketball to playing in the Big Ten? Also, he has good size for a guard, but he's not necessarily known as a defensive standout, so let's see how that transitions as well. Next, we have Tucker Devries from West Virginia, who will be following his head coach and father, Darian Devries, over to Indiana. Tucker played 1 year at West Virginia. Previously, he was at Drake with the stat as well. He's an elite shooter, and although he only played 8 games this season due to injury, he shot a scorching 47% from three, has an elite floor spacing ability with that jump shot. There are some injury concerns, obviously, during his stint with West Virginia. Only played 8 games last year and played through a multitude of injuries while he was there at Drake. But while at Drake, he was a 2-time Missouri Valley Player of the Year. He's really known for his offensive versatility, and not only can he shoot the three, but he's also effective in that mid-post and mid-range area. He uses a lot of fadeaways to score over his defenders, also has very good size, but there are some defensive limitations when it comes to Tucker Devries. He's a smart team defender, but his foot speed is a little slow, so he can be a liability in certain matchups, but he is one of the better players in the portal right now, so Indiana definitely got a good one. Next, we have Owen Freeman from Iowa, who just committed to Creighton. The 6'10 sophomore averaged 16.7 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 1.8 blocks per game in 19 games this season with the Hawkeyes, and was the top-ranked center in the portal as of right now. Freeman led Iowa in scoring before he went down to injury this season, and was also the 2024 Big Ten Freshman of the Year last year. And reportedly, he agreed to a $1.8 million contract with Creighton and was drawing interest from Michigan, Auburn, and Gonzaga as well. But Greg McDermott and the Blue Jays were able to land him as their replacement for Ryan Kalkbrenner for Creighton this upcoming season. And our last transfer portal commitment is Joson Sanon from Arizona State, who committed to Rick Pitino and St. John's. He actually reclassified up a year early and would have been a top 25 prospect in the 2025 class, but was there at Arizona State last year. He's a streaky but dangerous shooter, led the nation in three-point shooting near the beginning of the season, but finished at 37% after a late season slump. Also, just a natural scorer, originally known for his mid-range and pull-up jumper, but we've seen him expand his game to become a 3-level scorer, and has solid size, 6'5" with a strong frame, has the physical tools to play multiple positions, and he has some defensive and playmaking potential. He's shown flashes of defensive impact while he was at Arizona State, but obviously he's young, so needs to improve some of his decision-making. He only had a 1 assist to 1.4 turnovers, but this is definitely a bright spot for Rick Pitino and St. John's, and someone I definitely think they can develop and become a key piece for the Johnnies moving forward. Moving on to some of the big names that are still in the portal and are currently fielding offers from some other teams, we have none other than Donovan Dent from New Mexico, the Mountain West star and Mountain West Player of the Year, who averaged 20.5 points, 6.5 assists, and a steal and a half this past season for the Lobos. Had shooting splits of 49, 41, and 78, and has elite speed and burst, one of the fastest guards in all of college basketball this past season. Absolutely thrives in transition and was leading the 7th fastest team in the country in the Lobos. He's one of the dynamic playmakers that we see in the sport. He excels at attacking the paint and has some tight handles. He's also an improved shooter, became a little more selective when taking those shots as he's gained some experience in college basketball. And when open, he knocks it down 54% of the time on his unguarded catch and shoot threes. He also has some two-way upside, a very quick and aggressive defender, but does have some size limitations, which can create some challenges in certain matchups, but still one of the best players, if not the best player in the portal currently. Some of his rumored schools that have been contacting him are Kentucky, Louisville, UCLA, North Carolina, Gonzaga, USC, Tennessee, and Texas Tech. So we see teams that are still in the tournament already trying to get Donovan Dent for next year, and I think he might be the best portal get of this cycle. Another guard that announced that they're entering the transfer portal earlier was Pop Isaacs from Creighton. Isaacs averaged nearly 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists before season-ending hip surgery after just 8 games with Creighton this past season, but he did drop 27 points in their win at Kansas in his final appearance of the season. Shot 38% from 3 this year and was previously at Texas Tech, where he started 58 games as his 2 seasons there. The 6'2 guard is a former 4-star recruit out of high school, and some of the rumored schools are Texas A&M, who were interested in him and recruited him a lot while he was in high school, and the Kansas Jayhawks, but it's just a little too early to tell where he's going to go right now. Up next, we have Jalil Bethea from Miami. The true freshman averaged 7.1 points per game, but he's a former 5-star recruit and McDonald's All-American. This guy has some elite scorer and shot maker potential, as he's one of the best scoring guards in the country while in high school, and excelled at hitting some tough threes from the dribble and on the move. He's an underrated playmaker because he's primarily a shot-first guard, but he has shown flashes of some solid passing ability when he's engaged in trying to get his teammates involved, and there is defensive potential there, as this is a very athletic player. There have been a lot of schools that have been interested in Bethea, with some of the big names being Alabama, Florida, Ohio State, NC State, and Kansas that have all reached out, and there will be some more teams that continue to monitor his status. Another player that's entered the portal is Elliot Cadeau from North Carolina. He actually entered with a do not contact tag, but the former 5-star recruit averaged 9.5 points per game and 6 assists per game during his sophomore season with the Tar Heels. He shot just 34% from 3-point range, so has struggled a bit with his shooting, and also added in 3 rebounds and a steal per game this season. He started 37 of 37 games, but is a slightly undersized guard, which can hurt on the defensive end. He's also known as a pass-first guard, but he has shown flashes of an improved jump shot at times this season, and will look to continue to develop that into next season. With Cadeau just announcing that he's entered the transfer portal, there's not much information that we have on who is interested in him, but I'm sure there's a lot of schools that will try and get into the running to land Elliot Cadeau. Another Iowa player entered the transfer portal after Fran McCaffrey was announced that he would no longer be the head coach for the Hawkeyes, and that's Jox Dix, an NBA-ready shooter. He is a knockdown from 3-point range, hitting 42% this past season, which was his 3rd straight season above 40%. He's an elite floor spacer, and on unguarded catch and shoot threes, he actually shoots 51%, which forces his defenders to stay attached and create space for others. But he's definitely more than just a shooter. He's 6'6", which helps him score over smaller defenders, and can finish at the rim at a 67% clip, and also has showed some defensive upsides with his length. It's rumored that Ben McCollum is is trying to recruit Dix to come back to Iowa, but there are also other interested parties like Creighton, Kansas, Kentucky, and Alabama, and are all places where Josh Dix could definitely excel. Bryce Hopkins from Providence has also hit the portal, and this physical, powerful forwards is a strong 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan and thrives as a downhill driver who loves to play through contact. He is a finisher and a rebounding machine, known for following his own misses and getting a lot of second chance points. And I think he's an underrated playmaker. While he's known for his scoring, he also has solid vision as a passer. But the biggest knocks that you have on Hopkins is his three-point shooting is just inconsistent, hitting 36% as a sophomore, but just 19% as a junior on higher volume. And when it comes to his defense, he's just more physical than he is quick. I think he's better suited to guard fours rather than quicker threes, but it seems Hopkins right now is in a two-team race between Georgetown, where he would be reunited with his former coach at Providence, now coach at Georgetown, Ed Cooley, and Rick Pitino and St. John's. If I had to guess, I'm going to go with St. John's as being the team that lands Hopkins, but as of right now, it seems like this is 50-50. Virginia's leading scorer, Isaac McKneely, has entered the portal as well, as he has been a 3-year contributor and 2-year starter there for the Cavaliers and was the top scorer last season. He is an elite three-point shooter, a 42% career shooter from deep, and has maintained that percentage on 7.5 attempts per game, despite the defense being all over him. He's a versatile offensive threat, excels as a movement shooter, and can operate off screens, also has on and off ball versatility. One thing that we've seen grow in his game in the past couple of seasons is his ability to be a playmaker. He's improved as a passer as well, and as a sound defender, being that he played at Virginia in Tony Bennett's pack line defense. There are a few schools that are rumored to be interested, and there is a possibility for him to return to Virginia, but two other schools that have been heavily recruiting McKneely have been Louisville with Pat Kelsey and North Carolina. In my opinion, I think it's more likely that he goes to one of Louisville or North Carolina than return to Virginia, but we'll just have to wait and see. Some other notable names that are in the transfer portal are Mackenzie Mbako out of Indiana, who's going to be testing the NBA waters, but I'm assuming he's going to come back to school, but don't think it'll be with the Hoosiers. We also have Malik Renew out of Indiana and Miles Rice. So the trio of players from Indiana all leaving after Mike Woodson will no longer be the coach there. You have Trayson Eaglestaff from North Dakota. The 6'6" junior, known as one of the top scorers in the portal, averaged 19 points per game last year for North Dakota. Also scored 40 points against Alabama and then scored 51 points in his conference tournament. He reportedly had a Zoom meeting with Kentucky, so there is interest in there. So we could see him as a member of the Wildcats next season. Dalen Swaim from Xavier. So Sean Miller, no longer there with Xavier. His rumored destination is Ohio State, one of the top wings in the portal currently. Dylan Andrews just announced that he will be entering the transfer portal out of UCLA. The 6'2" guard started 29 of 32 games this season and averaged just 7 points compared to last year where he averaged 13 points. But seems like he's looking for new scenery this upcoming season. And then another big name, Mikey Williams out of UCF. He has announced he will be entering the transfer portal, and it's reported that Memphis is involved with Mikey Williams, as the Tigers head coach Penny Hardaway actually tried hard to get Mikey in the first place, but apparently the administration had blocked it. Mikey Williams averaged just 5 points and 2 rebounds in 14 minutes per game last season with UCF, so is looking to expand his role in a new team this upcoming season. Let me know in the comments who your favorite player in the transfer portal is and where do you think they will end up. Also, if you've been enjoying the content, make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.